the Bikini Chef. Welcome to Bikini Lifestyles on AM 790K ABC Radio. And we're on the road this week. We are out and about in Beverly Hills, and I was happy to run into the fabulous Adam Shepard. And he's from North Carolina, so how could I not want to interview
the good old Southern boy.
Yes. You know, I'm originally from Georgia, so we have that commonality there. And so Adam just recently went on a one-year trip around the world. And this is your second endeavor, your second major trip?
Second little adventure, yeah. The first one was Scratch Beginnings. I started with $25 and the clothes on my back in a random city to see if in 1 year I could have $2,500 in the car and furnish a car. Kind of
You started with $25,
yep.
And then in 1 year you wanted to see if you could have $2,500?
$2,500, yeah, kind of discover the American dream kind of thing. And so that's the first experience that I had, the first one I did back 5 or so years ago. And
now you wanted to do it again, go on another new adventure.
A little bit different budget this time around. But yeah, I wanted to, go out there in the world. I had this curiosity about the world, so I wanted to go out there and see what I could accomplish.
What you could accomplish? Well, he accomplished a lot, and it's all in his new book, 1 Year Lived. And it just came out, and he's in town in Los Angeles promoting the book. And you were on Kevin and Bean. Yes, we love them.
Love those guys.
I know.
Definitely.
And one of my friends actually heard your interview on Kevin and Bean. And so now she wants to buy the book.
Oh, great.
She's hoping I can nab an autograph copy for her. So we'll see. We'll work on that.
I got one for her, most definitely.
But you know, one thing that we have in common there is she's my BFF, and she and I applied to go on the Amazing Race together. Yes.
Did you make it past anywhere? I mean, did you get to the second round or anything?
We got to where. First, I have to tell you, we were team wife and ex-wife. So I'm new wife and she's ex-wife. So so that was our team.
Oh, wow.
And so they had us redo our video. They weren't like crazy about our video. And then we had a couple of different interview processes. So I guess we sort of got to where they were the final, but we didn't get invited to the final.
Let me tell you what, I have applied 5 different times with 5 different people and haven't made it anywhere. You know,
but yeah,
every time.
But here you're this world traveler.
Yes, exactly. Right. So
Yeah.
I figured, you know what? If they're not going to take me around the world, I'm going to go around the world myself.
I love it. So now you started in North Carolina.
Yep.
And then did you kind of plan where you were going to go, or did you just?
I had a general idea where I wanted to go, the place I wanted to go. But I really, and I'm glad I did this, I let it kind of develop organically rather than having a meticulous plan, here. You know, when in Guatemala, I was in Antigua, and people said, you have to go to Lake Atitlan. That's what's on the cover of the book here. You have to go to Lake Atitlan.
Lake Atitlan.
Yes, and it turned out to be just this wonderful, wonderful weekend. And it's not something I would have discovered from North Carolina. You know, it's somewhere that once I was there, that's when I saw, hey, you ask the locals, hey, where do I really need to go here? And and so there I was at Lake Atitlan. So I had an idea where I wanted to go in Central America, then New Zealand, Australia, but I let the trip kind of develop itself along the way.
Now, did you have a lot bigger budget this trip, or were you sleeping outside? We want to know.
You know, I slept in a variety of different venues. There was a little bit of outside sleeping, but there was also sleeping at beach resorts in the Philippines. I mean, it was, a lot of different opportunities.
We want to travel with you.
Well, you want to travel with me to the resorts. It was great. I'll tell you the best sleeping opportunities were with couch surfing. Couch surfing is this kind of consortium. Are you familiar with it at all? Yeah.
Couch surfing to me is I don't have any place to stay, so I sleep on people's couches wherever I go.
Yes.
Okay.
So sometimes you're actually on a couch. Sometimes you're in a luxurious guest room. I mean, but the point is that you're in New Zealand and you're in Auckland, and you get to stay with a local, and then they take you hiking over here, and it's a really cool experience to be able to have that in, rather than always staying in hotels.
Right.
So some places we stayed in hotels, hostels, some places we couch surfed. It was a variety of different.
Now you say we, so were you traveling with someone, or you were by yourself?
I left alone, and
You left alone, but somehow you didn't stay alone.
In Honduras, I met Ivana, who Slovakia, and I was immediately, Susan, immediately enamored by her. And she was immediately not enamored by me, but I put in work, and we ended up traveling together the rest of the year, and then bam! She is now my wife.
They got
yes,
married.
yes. So
oh
she
my
just.
gosh. Now, did you get married while you were traveling?
No. She landed in the United States about 3 months ago, and we got married. Yeah, it's great. It's really a cool story and I'm happy that I'm able to share.
And that's all
about
in the book?
her. Oh yeah, it's all in the book, and she's just such a wonderful person, and I'm very fortunate that. It's great to have the book and these experiences, but to meet her is just kind of the pinnacle, the icing on the cake.
Right. Now, since you guys met in this way, are there plans now where you're just going to have a whole life of travel?
You know, I think we both know that this trip was an anomaly, to be able to be together traveling for a year. You know,
so
11 months together. For 11 months, yeah. I mean, I met her in month 2, and then we traveled together the rest of the year.
Wow.
I think we understand that that's, like I say, it's pretty anomalous for our lifestyle. Will we continue to travel? Definitely. We will continue to travel. Will we take another year of our lives to just get missing? No. So travel is definitely something we love, and we like to be out there and tasting the wonderful food of this world and doing all these things. But we're going to be smart about it as we go.
Yes. Well, so you're traveling together and all this, so that's got to be kind of the ideal way to learn about each other and all these crazy situations and circumstances and having good hair days and bad hair days.
Yes, I've had a number of bad hair days in my life. I'll tell you this though, when you're traveling together with someone with whom you're in a romantic situation, the biggest thing is dealing with confrontation, because when you're together 24/7, you know, you go to the bathroom, you come back, and then bam. All other times it's you're together. So when you have an argument or you have a little tiff or whatever, it's not as though she can just go to her corner or go home or go across town. I mean, you are together traveling, and so you work it out. And I think that's what was so valuable for us as we move forward in our relationship was, you know, we got to know each other, and she is fun, and I'm fun, and we're nice, we have good times. But when the tougher times came around, we learned to resolve them right here and now. And she is so great at compromising, so that made it a lot easier than us just having these big blow-up arguments where we had to separate.
Right.
You know, we're together, and here we are, we're stuck, so let's work it out. And so now, here we are, we live in Raleigh, North Carolina, we're married, and now we deal with confrontation so much easier. We solve our problems in a very mellow manner, rather than having these.
Was it kind of a culture shock coming back and then living in North Carolina, and sort of being a couple in North Carolina?
I think
North Carolina is beautiful, but it's not, Australia
very true. Very
Honduras.
And these exotic locations. So you go to these exotic locations around the world, and then you come home. And I love North Carolina. I love the South. I love the United States. I mean, I feel like this is the greatest country in the world. But it is tough at times to have these wild adventures.
Yeah.
You're fighting bulls in Nicaragua, and then you come home to.
What do you want at the grocery store?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, you did some pretty crazy adventures. You had some pretty crazy adventures, and she was okay with that? Or did she join you in some of the crazy adventures? I mean, was she...
She joined me in some.
What was it? Were you riding the bull, or you were...
fighting the bull. Yes.
I
hiked this volcano in Nicaragua, and then we came down, and they were having this huge festival, 800, 900 people, and they are all... These guys are fighting bulls. Fighting bulls. They've got their.
And he says, "I think I'd like to do that.
I think I'd like to give that a shot." And so, was Ivana supportive of that? Supportive is not the right word to use there. She those are the kind of things where she kind of had to deal with it, because she knew she didn't want me to be in there fighting the bulls, but she knew that it's something that I had to do, being a man.
Right. What is she going to say? You can't do that.
Right.
It's like the adventure of our lives. I'm sorry, honey.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So most adventures she joined me.
Right.
But the bullfighting, she stood back.
We're going to take a quick break. We're speaking with Adam Shepard. He's author of 1 Year Lived. It's his newest book. He's written other books, The Shattered Beginnings.
Scratch Beginnings, yes.
Scratch Beginnings. And so we're going to talk a little bit more when we come back about your motivation for going on the trip, because you said you weren't like traumatized, living this horrible life, needing to find yourself, but yet you kind of went out on the journey seeming like to find yourself.
Exactly.
So it's Bikini Lifestyles, Bikini Chef. Right now we're going to go to Flatabo Automotive Group of Irvine. They're at the 5 and the 405 freeways down in the Irvine Auto Center. That's the Irvine Auto Center here in Southern California. They've got Honda, Buick, GMC, Volkswagen, Dakota, and the Echo truck, all electric vehicles.
Nice.
Which you might have seen some of those on your journey. Or not.
not as much, but now that I'm here in Southern California, that is the cool thing to have now.
Yes.
You know? And so, yes, very cool.
So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back more with Bikini Lifestyles.